case, you find that they're sure, they're saying that this man, describe the way they killed him, and he did not recover from the gunshot wounds.
And they get the time frame within which
that
died.
happened. Now, the thing is that the president himself could have said, okay, we're still investigating, what the report that, the intelligence report that we have that he is dead, until we are sure of others, before we can categorically say that he's dead or he's alive.
Because before the statement was released, they waited. Because if you look at this, July 25 to August 3rd, and then the statement comes out August 19.
Yeah.
So there was that hesitation on their part before the statement came up. Because in some other cases, the statement would have come up immediately. And so putting all those into consideration, it says...
Yes, they themselves were not sure. They wanted to be sure. That's why that gap. If they must have spent that time investigating whether the man is actually dead or... But there should be some forensic...
The silence now is a little curious, though, because, after the BBC radio service came out to say that, there's another video saying that, Abubakar Shakal is actually alive, they haven't said anything. Unlike the time when a video came out immediately after the statement was released, the army said that they have looked at that video critically, and they can see that the body language and even the manner of speaking of the person who claimed to be Abubakar Shakal was not consistent with earlier videos. In this particular instance, they have been silent. Do you also think that their silence is making them culpable?
Yes, it is. It is, because they could have followed up, and that's what the issue of communication. Before you release information, you must be sure of your source of your credibility of that source. And again, you find that silence, it speaks volumes, and it makes them feel that, look, we are not even sure of what we're doing. But can't we do a DNA to find out whether this man is actually the Shakal that? Where is the body? Can they release the body to them before coming out to make this kind of statement?
Dr. Moise, perhaps I think handlers of information should actually be properly schooled, because I realize that the frequency with which we counter or rebuff, recant, and even deny some statements is alarming. Is either what you intend to say, you lack language or words to actually express them.
That's right.
Because you can see in logic and even philosophy of language, you can see a whole lot of affirmatives there.
That's right.
When you say he sustained injuries and he never recovered.
Yeah.
So if no one recovered from any injury, meaning you must be a dead man.
That's right.
So these are some of the things people look and they say these are contradictories.
Now, I agree with you that the people that disseminate information to the public need to be better schooled. And that's why we have a school of media and communication for them to come around and update their vesting. But I haven't said that. We believe that efforts should be made to improve. And, they keep saying we were misquoted, when you think through before you open your mouth to say something, it's like you say something, then you realize you think before you say, then think, rather than think before you say.
I would really love you to tell me how you felt when you heard the explanation with regards to the fuel subsidy probe, or specifically Igi Mohwede's report on that probe. Even the president said he felt so angered by that particular report initially, report making the rounds that we had this huge amount being fretted away by Nigerians until that report came out, and it was so insignificant, meaning there were no cavils after all.
Well, again, the issue goes beyond just what the president said. And when I read that report, let me give you an example. When Adams Oshomole was the Labour leader, you find that every statement he made were based on fact, because he did his research properly before coming out to. When the government came around and said, look, this is the position, he said, no, but this is the current position, unless, But in this case, maybe it is possible that they're trying to pretend to look good or not to look as bad as people think that they, I don't feel that they're telling us the whole truth. Okay, there could be a cover-up somewhere in that aspect, because it's quite obvious. Okay, I have done some little investigation in the oil and gas as far back as 2007, 2008. And, like I keep saying, that somebody told me that if you want to get into oil business, it's either two things, because I asked him to help a friend of mine. And he said, is your friend a card-carrying member of PDP? I said, no, he's not even partisan. Okay, is he a crook? I said, no, he's a good Christian. And I said, sorry, can't do oil business. And that tells a lot what goes on in there. Because, it's like, I did an article some years ago on that. And that an MD of NNPC will spend time getting, sorting out some political IOUs, getting notes. Even while I was at NNPC, a former governor being accused of defrauding the state came with a note that he should be giving some oil, this thing. So if you're saying that there's no, the picture they're painting is not as bad as the people, Nigerians, believe, there is heavy rot in that system.
But that doesn't mean that legitimate business is not going on in that.
No, legitimate business is going on, no doubt. Okay. Legitimate business is going on.
You know what I take out of that? Sorry to cut you there, Dr. Mweze, is, we run away most times, hearsay stories. I'm sure that's what he tried to refer to as the Molo gist, that someone got gist from the boss. But again, in all of this, sometimes it looks like it's true after all, because when you feel the polls, over time when you tell a lie and the frequency with which you tell the same lie, it makes it true. But on this one, if you look at comments by Nigerians on this, they say, no, this can't be a lie. Someone must have taken that huge amount of money, all in the name of oil business.
Yeah, but again, another story I read somewhere said that part of that money was used to run the 2011 election. That was the most expensive election ever in the history of Nigeria. And just again to say that, let me just mention what Bill Gates...
Was that from the opposition, any of the opposition parties?
Well, I don't know, but it was just a statement. I don't know where the people belong to, whether it's possible the opposition trying to, but they believe that the most expensive election in the history of Nigeria. And part of that money was used to finance that. And Bill Gates said that, look, they're talking about companies, and he said that companies or organizations should spend more time teaching their people financial information rather than hiding it from them, because they'll be better off when they know the true situation. Okay. So government should spend time communicating the true situation, positively, and again, I agree when, like Mr. President said, I don't know.
Mr. Windsor, you know that the President had a reply to those people who thought that, he used the funds from the oil subsidy crisis actually went to funding his campaign. He said, some people said that I use this money for my campaigns. If that was the case, I would actually leave them there so that they could actually fund the next one as well. Did you hear that particular part, or was that the only one I heard?
No, I didn't hear that last part.
Yes, I do remember that he said something to that effect, as to how, that money did not go to funding his campaign. But how much weight do you give that statement? Well,
the thing is that the oil, what is going on with that did not start today. Remember, in the past, there have been 2.8 billion, the same oil money, dollars. And again, so you find that Nigerians are used to hearing huge sums of money missing from NNPC, oil money missing. So when that happened, well, at a point, because I was wondering, that election was too expensive. And
you participated in it?
Yes, I participated.
So you understood how much money was flying around?
In fact, I was played out because I couldn't sustain I didn't have the financial muscle to continue. I had good intentions, but
so you need some money back.
I need some money. In fact, I said, but Mr. President, if that money went towards, or that oil money went into campaign, why didn't you give me part of it so that I could also